Daquan could finish, but just his production in the opener for his first game, did that surprise you just a little?
Yeah, it did. Although I mentioned after that he by far had his best week of practice, just battling Romello head to head and doing and holding his own. And his motor is getting better. I think he's getting more comfortable with what he has to remember, and he's playing more on instinct. And he again, I think it's a good situation for him because our guards are so good at getting in the paint and making things easy for him. And he's got to play with that motor, and he did that for sure the other night.
Is that the big thing with him, just consistency of effort?
Yes, to never take a possession off and just keep and reminding him, encouraging him to do that, and using his gifts. I mean, he's such a gifted athlete and very light on his feet, and very quick jumper, and just to get him about thinking about doing that at both ends of the floor, challenging shots and finishing above the rim.
Is he someone that could be a better rebounder outside of his area and contesting shots and things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep developing those areas. Certainly, we're talking to him about that and giving multiple efforts and things, and hopefully he'll continue to develop those areas. And then the other thing, I mean, you can throw it to him on the block. He's got a good feel for post moves and touch, and not only a dunker. I mean, he could shoot some jump hooks, and he's got a little bit of a repertoire he could go to in the post.
So what's the deal with Kamani? Is there an update there?
Yeah, Kamani is he's having surgery now. He's probably finishing up surgery on his fifth metatarsal. So he's it was a stress fracture, and the doc inserted a small pin in there, and it's likely to keep him out. Ballpark is somewhere around Christmas, and based on the time frame that we've been given right now, but there's no set date on his return. But it is very encouraging that it looks like we would hopefully, in a good case scenario, have Kamani get back for the entire Pac-12, and that's our goal. And he's disappointed. It's a hard way for him to start his career, and we feel terrible for him that he had to go through this just one day before his first game. But it's just a minor setback, and I think he's going to approach his therapy and his recovery the right way.
Is that something that had been bothering him for a while, or was it pretty sudden?
No, it's just a sudden freak situation. He never talked with any of our medical personnel about it being a problem prior to it happening, and so it's things that happen, and I've been lucky, over the last year to not have to go through any injuries like this, and we hope to not have to in the future. But we look forward to getting Kamani back, and he's got a good attitude about it, and and the initial news is never good for anyone to know that they're going to miss time, but he's handling it well.
You just can't seem to keep any depth or anything. It just seems like last year you had some depth issues, and this year it looked like you weren't going to go into, and now you will. Which is what kind of problems will that create?
Well, I mean, look, Kamani's a hell of a player, and he's a young guy that we want to develop and get experience, and so he's losing some time with that process. But in the meantime, we have some guys that will become eligible. As Mickey Mitchell with the transfer rules becomes eligible, and Romello when we could get him out there, then I think that we'll have enough as long as we could, again, try and stay healthy from this point on.
So as far as the number of options that you have, it is kind of more limiting. But do you draw anything from last year where you really were just playing 6 and 7 guys that can help you in that regard this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's having a short rotation is not something I'm unfamiliar with. So it's in that way it helps. But just the guards, the guards really, Shannon could play every minute and not get that tired. It's just how he's wired. Trey is used to playing big minutes. Cody is. Now we have Remy to add to that rotation. And as you saw with Austin as a walk-on, I mean, I don't really even think he's a walk-on, to be honest. He comes in there, knows what he's doing, runs our offense, makes good plays. So I have confidence in Austin as another option on the perimeter. And we're starting to get to the point where we get the rotation going on the front court, and I think it's pretty solid.
How do you think you guys defended the other night?
I thought we defended fairly well in the first half, and in terms of creating turnovers, I think that's something that we have the potential to do with our speed and our ball pressure. And but I thought we once the game hit a certain point, like we were up 25, whatever it was, we stopped guarding as well as hard as we need to. So we talked about that, about sustaining that and not losing sight of that, regardless of the scoreboard.
Expect to have Romello?
It's still a game time decision there for Romello, Doug. So we'll know tomorrow more about that.
Was there anything else that, Coach, that jumped out at you from just kind of rewatching that first game that you took from it that helped you kind of understand better about where you guys are at in any areas?
The San Diego State game from last year, or this game?
The first game. I mean,
Just the balance. I mean, that's what I talked a lot about last year, just having, being a little one-dimensional, shooting the three, guards driving and scoring in the paint, trying to get to the free throw line that way. And now, I think we have more guys that want to play inside, that teams have to honor around the basket, that can make something happen when the ball's in their hand. And that's, Daquan showed the flashes of that the first game, and Romello, I know, could do that as well. So it's I think that's where I'm really looking forward to getting to the point where these guys are playing together for a period of time, and I think over time we have the potential to be a pretty good team when you talk about the balance that we'll have.
So do you think that will help your guards access the floor a little bit more in different ways? Just the fact that you have to, account for that post presence?
I mean, I think what it's going to do is it's going to free them up to just do more of the things they're naturally capable of doing. I'm last year, we talked to the guards about trying to rebound, and rebound more, and they'll certainly get in there and get some long rebounds. When you have a bigger lineup that has, guys that could go get the basketball off the board, it makes it easier for the guards just to play their natural game and their position. So I'm hoping that there's a positive effect of just being bigger, and then those guys as screeners, and Melo is going to be able to score in the post. Teams are going to have to figure out how to guard him, and he could pass out of the post as well. And I think you'll see some inside out as opposed to just always outside in.
Do you think with the coaching change, do you expect San Diego State to still be the same type of team that they were in the past as far as emphasis on defense and rebounding?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the values of the program changing when everything was done in house, and so that's been their calling card. They in the film I watched last game, I watched their first game. They're picking up, they're pressuring, they're getting after it defensively, and they have good athletes. They have big guards, so and Pope looks very good. He had a great first game for them. He looks better on film than I saw from last year. So and their depth, they're kind of they played 10 guys, in their first game. So I would assume that they would do a lot of the things that they've done in the past.
Was there any certain situation where in practice, did Kamani get hurt? Is that where it was, or was it just a build-up?
No, it was just one sudden, non-contact play. It was just I think a hard jab step, and kind of took a bad step with that, and went to the sidelines. And he kind of knew something was going on with it, and we were trying to be optimistic about it and wanted to get the MRI done and hoping that that revealed that it was not going to require surgery. But you know, when we got that information that it was, you know, this is the best thing for him and his future is to take care of this now.